Something is stealing your energy right now, and it's not your job, it's not your schedule, it's not the mountain of tasks in front of you, it's the grudge from 10 years ago you never released. It's the standard you never chose but still obey. It's the need to know everything, see everything, react to everything. Most men carry weight for decades and never ask why the road feels heavier each year. The Stoics knew the answer before you were born. Peace isn't built by carrying more. It's built by dropping what was never yours to hold. Today we find the invisible weight, and we take it off your back. 1. The weight arrives silent. Nobody notices the moment it starts. There's no alarm, no warning shot. It builds through the years, quietly, through wounds you buried instead of healed, through arguments that still replay at 2 a.m., through expectations you swallowed without question. You wake up exhausted and blame today, but today didn't do this to you. This fatigue has been riding with you for years, hidden inside your routines, disguised as normal. You call it stress. It's actually storage, old resentment, old regret, old noise, still running in the background of your mind, still draining you while you sleep. 2. You become what you feed. The modern world never lets you set anything down. Headlines, notifications, outrage, repeat. You carry grief from your past and fear about a stranger's future. Your mind never gets a single clean breath. Epictetus said it plainly. What you give your attention to, you become. Every grudge you replay grows stronger. Every fear you rehearse gets a seat at the table. Attention is food. Whatever you feed grows. So ask yourself, what have you been feeding? 3. The quality of your mind is the quality of your life. Marcus Aurelius understood this before anyone had a name for it. Your happiness is not decided by your circumstances. It's decided by the quality of your thoughts. A mind full of resentment lives in a different world. A mind full of gratitude lives in a different world. Same city, same job, same body, completely different life. Every unnecessary thought you carry takes up space. Space that could hold purpose, space that could hold peace. You are not lacking strength. You are overloaded with things that were never worth the weight. 4. You suffer in your head before you ever suffer in reality. Seneca said we suffer more in imagination than in truth. Your mind builds disasters that never happen. You rehearse fights you'll never have. You brace for hits that never land, and your body reacts like it's all real. Adrenaline for a war that doesn't exist. Peace spent on a scenario made of nothing. This is not wisdom, this is waste. The Stoic doesn't kill thought. He learns which thoughts deserve a seat and which get thrown out. 5. The invisible chain, approval. The heaviest weight has no shape. You can't see it, can't weigh it, but it decides your whole life. It starts small, one opinion softened to fit in, one ambition delayed, so nobody's uncomfortable, one version of yourself hidden to stay likable. Small compromises, year after year, until you forget who you were before the performance began. Social media made it worse. Now approval comes by the second. Likes, views, comments. You wake up content, and by breakfast you're comparing your life to a stranger's highlight reel. Success stopped being something you felt. It became something you're watched doing. Epictetus knew the price of freedom. He said, if you want to grow, be willing to look foolish. Most men will never accept that. They fear being misread, fear standing out, fear the behind their back. But real growth demands exactly that discomfort. Marcus Aurelius gave the answer To anyone chasing a reputation, stop arguing about what a good man looks like. Be one. Character isn't debated, it's demonstrated. Stop performing, start living. Seneca gave the final piece. Guard your circle. Stand near people who make you better. Comparison breeds comparison. Negativity breeds negativity. Your environment is quietly shaping your mind right now. Choose it like your life depends on it, because it does. 6. The debt you keep paying. Some wounds are old enough to vote, yet you still pay interest on them daily. A betrayal, a failure, a rejection, a regret. The event ended years ago. The attachment never did. You replay the argument word for word. You imagine the version where you won. Every replay adds fuel to a fire that should be ash. You call this processing. Sometimes it's really self-punishment wearing a disguise. Learning from a mistake, that's growth. Reliving it for 20 years, that's a cage. Marcus Aurelius warned against carrying your whole life at once. Don't drag every past wound into today. Don't preload every future fear either. Today has enough weight of its own. Epictetus cut straight to the bone. You're not hurt by what happened. You're hurt by the story you keep telling about it. Same event, different man, different pain. This is taking your power back. Forgiveness isn't a gift to them. It's a release for you. Resentment needs maintenance. It needs fuel. It needs you. Stop feeding it, and it starves. Seneca said to treat each day as its own separate life. New day, new ledger, new man. Stop opening yesterday's wounds every morning. 7. The flood that never stops. More information hits you today than reached a king a century ago. Breaking news, debates, ads, outrage on repeat. It feels normal, but your mind was never built for an endless flood. Attention is now a product. Companies are hunting for it every second of your day. You think you're choosing what fills your head. Half the time, it's choosing you. One notification feels harmless. 100 a day fractures your focus completely. Stillness starts to feel foreign. Your nervous system stays on alert for nothing. Epictetus told us to be selective about what we let inside. Not everything deserves entry. Seneca warned that trying to be everywhere means being nowhere. Your body's here, your mind's in 100 places. Meanwhile, the actual moment, the one in front of you, goes unnoticed. Marcus Aurelius said the soul takes on the color of its thoughts. Feed it outrage, you become outrage. Feed it noise, you become noise. Guarding your attention isn't weakness, it's self-preservation. 8. The discipline of letting go. Real peace was never about adding more. Not more information, not more approval, not more noise. The Stoics measured wisdom by what a man could release. Letting go isn't passive. It takes more strength than holding on. Ask yourself the hard questions. What am I carrying that serves no purpose? Which worries build something, and which just burn fuel? Which relationships build you, and which quietly break you? Which commitments reflect your values, and which exist from fear of disappointing someone? Epictetus gave the compass. Control what's yours to control. Let the rest happen as it happens. Most frustration comes from fighting for things that were never yours to command. Boundaries aren't selfish. They're how you protect what's left of your energy. Without them, every request feels urgent. Every demand feels obligatory. You become property of everyone else's priorities. 9. The life that waits on the other side. Set the weight down, and life doesn't shrink. It expands. Energy you wasted on old grudges comes back online. Relationships get your full attention again. Purpose stops hiding behind the clutter. Marcus Aurelius said, "It takes very little to live a happy life. Not another purchase, not another milestone, just less unnecessary weight." Seneca said the poor man isn't the one with little. It's the man who always wants more. Endless craving guarantees endless emptiness. Peace was never up ahead. It was buried under everything you were carrying. This work is never finished in one sitting. You'll drop weight and pick some back up. That's not failure. That's the practice. Every burden you release makes room for something better. More clarity, more purpose, more peace. You don't need to carry it all. You never did. Put it down. Walk lighter. If this hit something real in you, say it in the comments. What are you finally ready to put down?